With practically everything going against Alabama today, the Tide still rolls and gets that fifth sweet victory in a row over the Auburn Tigers.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson with the AHSA Radio Network. That's me. Bama Online's Jimmy Stein. He'll be here after the Bama Online show. My hair is a little disheveled. Y'all forgive me. It's been a big day. Thank you, everydayers, for joining us every day. And thank you, newbies, for joining us. And thank you, Gametime, for being the sponsor of this particular podcast. You guys are the best. All of you. And you're the best today because Alabama wins that fifth in a row. And look, I have no problem saying it. I thought this game was going to be a nail-biter. In fact, towards last night, I was ready to predict an Auburn victory. I'd heard all week from other people about how practice had not been great for the Tide, about how we had not looked good. And then I saw us play against Oklahoma, so I knew we weren't looking great. I thought there were a lot of problems. But Jalen Milroe, despite 3 turnovers from Milroe and 3 touchdowns rushing from Milroe, kind of crazy. But so much to digest here. 28-14 win. Alabama covers the spread. The spread was 11. I thought that was rather large at the beginning, and Alabama gets the cover. Pretty crazy. Are we playoff bound? That's going to be a question. I don't know. Can't wait to talk to Jimmy a little bit about that. Miami losing today helped. Notre Dame winning today hurt. So, you know, those things, who knows? I think we got to see where everything falls come playoff selection committee time. But, man, appreciate all you guys joining in here. Timothy Dowdle says 4 turnovers. Yeah, but one of the fumbles was not Jalen Milroe's fumble, is what I was saying. He had interception and 2 fumbles, and he had 3 touchdowns, is what I was saying, just Milroe specifically. Let me start here. First of all, I'm thrilled to death for Kalen DeBoer, the first Bama coach to win his first Iron Bowl in God knows how long. So huge kudos to him. He does have Alabama in a position to potentially continue a double-digit win streak, meaning getting that 10th win, whether we go to the playoffs or not, go to a bowl game. Big props to Jalen Milroe. He overcame some problems today. I mean, he had 2 bad fumbles. Okay. I give you that. In fact, didn't he have another fumble that we recovered? I think somebody had a fumble that we recovered, I believe. But anyway, Jalen Milroe, I thought, played pretty well. Over 250 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. I mean, you can't beat that. I'm happy for him. I'm happy they kept showing his family on the camera, and I'm happy for them a lot. Let me say this though: I'm ready for the officials associated with the SEC to be investigated to some degree. The fight that Auburn started, 100% it was on Auburn starting that fight. And it was in the Auburn sideline. So the Alabama guys were like, it was 110-1 for a little bit. And so when the Alabama guys go over there to help get their guy up, they called 2 unsportsmanlike penalties on Alabama when Keandre Lambert-Smith was blocking his man so far out of bounds that it was ridiculous. And then Peyton Thorne throws an obvious, clear, in my opinion, no question, intentional grounding, and they don't even consider it. I thought it was one of the worst officiated games of the year, and that's saying something. That is saying something. It was just the worst. This crew was horrible, and they deserve to be admonished for it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I'm happy Alabama won. But I'm telling you, that fight could have turned the game around. Without that BS call, where you call 2 calls in Alabama, none on Auburn. Without that, I don't think Auburn makes that touchdown drive. Do you? I don't think there's any doubt about it. I also thought it was incredibly petty and sad and small of Hugh Freeze to right at the end of the game, I'm just going to dump it off to Keandre Lambert-Smith, trying to get him his 1,000 yards or whatever. It reminded me a few years ago, Auburn kept handing the ball off to somebody. Maybe it was Trey Smith. They were trying so hard to get him 1,000 yards. It's so important. Let's get him 1,000 yards. And instead of worrying about somebody else could get hurt or just the game's over, let's play with a little sportsmanship. Now, that's just not Hugh Freeze's game. I don't give a dang what anybody says. Also, I'm so thankful he's their head coach because maybe one of the dumbest calls I've ever seen was the halfback pass by Jarquez Hunter. I mean, he's running the ball fine. You want him to throw it? There's something wrong with that man. I don't know. But it's the second game in about 6 Iron Bowls, maybe 7 or 8 Iron Bowls, where Alabama has intercepted a running back pass. Because if you remember a few years ago, I think it was, I can't remember which linebacker it was for Alabama, but in an Iron Bowl, Jalen Milroe's first year, I think 2016, they had that fullback for Auburn through a halfback pass. Anyway, I thought it was really sad and petty. And so Hugh Freeze, like, I don't care how this man can recruit. And he was recruiting well before there was NIL, so don't give me that. And maybe he had his own NIL then too. But this guy seems like the worst. He just seems like the worst. So anyway, again, back to the game, man, happy for this team. Happy for Jalen Milroe. Jam Miller ended up getting some carries. I mean, hey, aren't we all happy about that? I mean, he got some pretty serious carries. He got a lot of run. Ended up with 84 yards. Jam Miller had 28 carries. Did anybody else know that? I mean, I was watching the game pretty intently, so I wasn't just like watching the stats. I did not realize he had 20. I would have said Milroe had more carries. But Justice Haynes with 7 carries and a touchdown, so that's nice. Again, so much to talk about from this game. I really want Jimmy to join me as soon as he can when he gets done with the Bama Online show, because I feel like he's going to have a lot more to add. Because frankly, I was so disturbed by the officiating, especially the whole fight thing. Look, if you want to say, if people want to do tic-tac hold calls here and there, or pass interference here and there, I mean, I think that can be judgment calls. What they did on that fight was so stupid. And again, they ought to have a big group conference after this year. Get all the officials together and say, if people throw trash on the field, you got to penalize them for it. You can't just overturn a call because they throw trash on the field. Because guess what? It encourages people to throw trash on the field. I would have thrown trash on the field if I had been Alabama right after that call. Some great points. A.J. Evans points out. He didn't expect C.J. Dupree and Josh Cuevas to lead us in receiving in that game. Totally agree with that. And I think, hey, well, they didn't really lead us in receiving necessarily. I mean, Jeremy Bernard was the leader. I mean, unbelievably, Ryan Williams had 3 catches for 53 yards. It felt like Ryan Williams didn't do anything, right? I mean, it really did. He had a nice play to start the second half, and that was a great, brilliant drive for Alabama to start the second half. That really helped so much. But Ryan Williams, it wasn't his game. It wasn't his game, man. And so here's hoping next year in Auburn that he plays a lot better. We're going to need him to play a lot better next year, I think. So listen, guys, I want to tell you, I'm going to take a quick break here and tell you about Game Time. So let's do that. Game Time. I hope you use Game Time to go to the Iron Bowl. Look, I looked on Game Time because I have my 4 children here with me, and we were thinking about all 6 of us, my wife and my 4 children, to go into the game. And we looked on Game Time, the tickets were like $130. I was like, man, I almost can't get. But there was too much logistical. I couldn't do it. But if I'd done it, I would have done it on Game Time, and I would have done it, and I would have saved money, and it would have been a lot of fun, and I would have enjoyed an Iron Bowl victory. I wish I was there now. If you go to Game Time and you want to sneak over to that Las Vegas tournament real quickly, as Alabama's about to play Oregon, and you want to check out that game, you can use code LOCKEDONCollege for the first time on Game Time and get $20 off that first order. It is awesome. Go check out Game Time today. You can see where you're going to be sitting. I love this thing. I've used this app a million times. I'm sorry I'm so hot. I'm burning up. But the deals on Game Time are also burning up. So go check out Game Time today. Anybody else understand the irony of Jalen Milroe's first touchdown run? He runs right by DeMarcus Riddick. Runs right by him. I mean, DeMarcus Riddick barely even he might have touched him with his fingertips. And then all the stuff DeMarcus Riddick said about Ryan Williams, he's not that special, and he kind of didn't look special today. Anybody else think that was weird? I love, this is a Ryan Williams podcast. So we love Ryan Williams. Jimmy Stein and I love Ryan Williams as if he were our own son together. If we together had a son, it would be Ryan Williams. And Ryan Williams it's another year where if Ryan Williams makes that catch on just a picturesque deep ball, if he makes that catch for a touchdown, I think Auburn mails it in. Last year, Kendrick Law, CJ Dupree, I think it was, actually got called for a ticky-tack hold, and it got called back. But if Kendrick Law scores on that play, it's 14-0, I think Auburn mails it in then too. And instead, 2 plays that were Alabama's fault keep Auburn in the contest. That's something we've got to stop doing. I mean, we're killing ourselves like this. And look, there's some people talking about the playoffs. And here's old Tyler Coggins. First of all, Tyler, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate you. He says, go Vols, have fun watching the playoffs. Hey, bud, we've watched plenty of playoffs. Usually you guys aren't even in a bowl game, so I'm thrilled to death you guys are involved in anything. So congratulations for that. I mean, I'm happy. Go rep the SEC, bro. I'm pulling for Tennessee. Not pulling for you necessarily, but I'm pulling for Tennessee. A couple other folks are saying Williams can make those one-handed catches in pregame, but can't make the easy catches again. That's not really true. He's done really, really well all year. Now, I think his fall off coincides with the fact that Milroe's fall off a little bit now, and his fall off is only in the passing game, really. I mean, in the running game, he's still awesome. But his passing hasn't been picturesque until that pass to Ryan Williams, which was one of the best balls he's thrown all year. And for Ryan not to catch that is bad. I would expect that from a lesser receiver. I really do also hate that that Cam Coleman scores a touchdown and Ryan Williams doesn't. Okay, that's not lost on me, and I'm sure Ryan Williams hates it too. But I think Ryan's going to be fine. We're going to need Ryan to be fine. I'm actually kind of thrilled that we're not in the SEC championship game. Yes, I would rather be there given the circumstances, but it works out. Let's say that we need the rest. I think we put a lot into this game. I knew DeBoer needed it. DeBoer wanted it badly. And so let's take this rest and let's hope for the best. What the best is, I'm not sure. What do we need for these other teams to do? To lose? I don't know. Somebody says, "Hey, appreciate this." Let me see here. Well, first of all, no, right here. This is what. Luke, how are you, my brother? I think we get in now with so many other losses around the other conference. Hey, man, I hope you're right. That's from my main man, Curtis Jennings. I hope he's right. Miami losing, I think, does help. And what you can say, well, what about if Clemson – I think Clemson goes to the ACC title game now. And so if they win, they'll get in. But that may knock SMU out because SMU didn't have a lot to hang their hat on either. So there's a lot to figure out in these next couple of games. I'm not even really sure who to pull for tonight. I'm going to pull for Texas A&M, I think. I think that's who we should pull for, but I'm not sure. I don't really care who wins Oklahoma LSU. I think Missouri helped us out by beating Arkansas today. South Carolina definitely helped us out today. Now, can South Carolina get in over us? I don't think so. Because I think the head-to-head is going to help a ton there. And we do have some other good wins. I mean, South Carolina's got some other wins, but our win over Georgia stands out. I think the win over LSU, despite LSU's falling off, is still very good and memorable. Somebody says, why would A&M get in over us? Well, A&M wouldn't get over us. If A&M loses tonight, there's no chance they're getting in. If A&M wins tonight and they go to the SEC title game and then they lose, the point becomes it's that debate that everybody's been talking about. Do you penalize somebody for playing in a championship game? Because see, Texas A&M will be in the championship game, and So I don't know. Well, they would have to win it, wouldn't they? A&M's got 3 losses. I keep thinking A&M's only got 2 losses. They have 3 losses. So I need to quit worrying about that. But I still think we're pulling for A&M. I keep forgetting, honest to God, I do, that A&M lost to Auburn. I keep forgetting that. I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to do because Auburn hadn't beaten a ton of folks. But I keep forgetting that. So how about Jihad and JJ tonight? Let me say this. On the podcast, if you guys listen to the podcast, you know that Jimmy said, he was sort of on the button. He said, look, I need Hollywood and I need Milroe to play well. And I said, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball. I need Bray Hubbard and Justin Jefferson to play well. And I thought both of them balled out. I haven't even looked at the defensive statistics yet, but I'm about to here if I can find them. They don't really have them listed on ESPN. This is weird. They don't have the official defensive statistics here, but I was hoping that I'll tell you who balled out is Tim Keenan. I thought Tim Keenan played a whale of a ball game. He's as big as a whale, and he was doing really, really well. Somebody says, are you kidding? Freeze is far superior to DeBoer. Get out of here. Who is this guy? Bama 7 Uncle Lou? There's no chance you're being real right now. There's no chance. What are you talking about? You can't be right with that. You can't even if you're an Auburn fan pretending, so be it. I get it. But if you're an Alabama fan, you truly believe that, man, you got problems. So Bray Hubbard, I thought, was just awesome. I thought Hubbard was fantastic, and he has played so well that I'm excited for him. I hope Keon Sabb, having him and Keon Sabb back there both next year. How about that? That'd be awesome for the Crimson Tide. I would absolutely love that and be super, super excited. Man, I'm just on cloud 9 right now because all I really wanted to do was Alabama get this 5-game win streak against Auburn. And it means a lot. It's the longest win streak Alabama's had since the 9 in a row. And is a big one. And, next year, look, yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to go over there and win. We're going to have a new quarterback. They will too. Now, that may be good for them. Maybe good for us. But I think that, if Auburn had won this game, think about the ripple effect of that. The recruiting ripple effect, the momentum Hugh Freeze would have. They get to go to a bowl game, get those extra practices in. I think this was so big for Alabama and really a big loss for Auburn, a big miss. And frankly, as well as Alabama played at times, and they had some really nice drives, and they shot themselves in the foot a lot with these turnovers, there's no doubt. As well as they played at times, they did some things poorly that allowed Auburn just to stay in it. And Auburn should not have been in this thing. I feel like Alabama dominated it. Look, Auburn got I want to see their total yardage. I want to say it was like 4-0. I know Alabama had something. Let me see here. Somebody just texted it to me. That's the only reason I really know it and want to talk about it. Alabama won the total yardage 457 to 399, and about 80 of those yards, plus or minus, came on Auburn's last drive, which was just a punk, sorry, sad, petty drive by Auburn. So I think you got to give. Here's the other thing: you got to give Kane Womack a lot of flowers, right? Against LSU, after the bye week before LSU, against LSU, we give up a touchdown at the very end of the game that meant nothing, and only because Brian Kelly is a bigger punk than Hugh Freeze. I take that back. I think Hugh Freeze is a bigger punk, but and only because he kept doing his little drive to go down there and score. Okay, then we play Mercer, and we give up a touchdown on a great reception. Then we play Oklahoma, and we stink it up. Don't get me wrong, we stunk it up. The defense didn't give up 7 of those points, and another 7 of those points came after an interception down to about the 15, 10-yard line somewhere in there. So the defense gave up about 10 points. So I'm telling you that that Kane Womack, man, we need to understand that he's not bad. And we didn't have Deontay Lawson today. We didn't have Keon Sabb today. We didn't have Q Robinson today. And I know we haven't had some of these guys for a while, but pretty big deal to play that well without those dudes. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that? Let me tell you guys about FanDuel very quickly. Go check out FanDuel today. You will love it. FanDuel.com. Look, if you win your first $5 bet, you get $150 free. That's how it is over at FanDuel.com. They are official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You will love FanDuel. FanDuel is the absolute best. So much fun to play. It makes every single Saturday and Sunday so much more fun, especially Sundays, because you're doing a lot of catch up on Sundays usually. Not every day if you took Alabama, but FanDuel is so much fun. Go check out FanDuel today. Just go. You can get the app, FanDuel.com. It is so easy to use. Jimmy Stein can use it. That's how easy it is to use. And you want to bet $5. If you win that bet, you get 150 smacks free to bet with. That's amazing. So go check out FanDuel.com and thank me just a little bit later on, right in the comments. Okay, still waiting for Jimmy to join me here. Really, I got to go back to some of the things. Boy, it's really hot in this room. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Seems like it should be freezing. But one thing that I just cannot understand about Auburn's game plan tonight. Jarquez Hunter was running okay. In fact, I think he might have had over close to 50 yards after the first quarter. And according to the stats on ESPN, I'm checking out right now, he had a grand total of 13 carries for 56 yards. Now, I don't have a way to break down those statistics, but I know he had a 21-yard run, I think, in the first quarter, and a 19-yard run. And it was like they just went away from him. I don't understand. Lucas James, Hollywood Robinson with the buttons out, just needs the collar popped. Okay, Dan. Hey, look, you call for it. I'll give it to you, bro. Yes, I have had some kind of very funky South African liqueur that my wife just brought back from Africa. So I may be more apt to take on some of your requests this evening. James Jefferson says, can Bama make the CFP? Yes, they can. James, I don't even know what to tell you to pull for anymore. And my, where's Jimmy and his nipples? My advice is just watch college football and watch it unfold. Today, who would have thought that Syracuse would beat Miami? Especially when Miami was up 21-0. I mean, maybe you thought Syracuse had a chance before that. Miami was up 21-0. And they ended up losing. And somebody says Auburn was down, so they panicked. I think they would have panicked. I believe that wholeheartedly if the officials hadn't made such an egregious, terrible call on the fight. And that's what it was. Here's another thing that's I don't like. There was apparently a skirmish in the Missouri-Arkansas game. We all know there was a skirmish earlier in the day, Ohio State, Michigan. And there was a obvious skirmish in the Iron Bowl. And I just don't like that stuff. I wish that happened less. So we'll see. But that I just think that the officials there ought to be some kind of accountability for why Auburn didn't get an unsportsmanlike on that particular fight too. I just thought that was pretty god awful to only give the penalty to two Alabama guys when you're on the Auburn sideline, and obviously the Auburn folks are ganged up on top of you. But look, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to do another pod with Jimmy, and we're going to put that one out in the morning. This is going to be my pod for tonight. So we will talk more about this Iron Bowl. And so we'll have it out first thing in the morning. But for right now, I also want to remind everybody, please, please, please check out Bama, Oregon tonight. This Oregon team is good, and I think they're undefeated. So this is the winner gets like a nice hunk of NIL money. So big for Alabama tonight. Thank the good Lord Alabama won this game, because I think the viewership for Alabama tonight would be down. And I'm so happy for the basketball team that's the football team won to help put everybody in a pretty good mood. All right, that's going to do it for this live broadcast. I know everybody's fired up about the Iron Bowl. It's an Iron Bowl win. I don't care if we make the playoffs right now. Right now, go enjoy beating Auburn 5 times in a row. That's a big deal. I'm from Alexander City, Alabama. Trust me, this is a huge deal. So y'all go out and enjoy it. Have a lot of fun and roll tide, everybody. And we'll see y'all in the morning.